1, 2. allowances, and that we make decisions based on what's called substantial and competent evidence. And that's evidence that would allow a reasonable person to reach a reasonable conclusion on the matter at hand. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but if it's an evidence that would allow a reasonable person to reach a conclusion. That conclusion deals with whether there's a violation of the city code. The city will be making presentations today regarding alleged violations of codes after giving notice to property owners of those violations. And the city will have an obligation to show that the violation relates to each element of the code, and they provide what's called substantial and competent evidence to show that violation, what we mentioned. One of the requirements of law, however, is that the evidence shall be sworn. And what we're going to do before any of the hearings, we're going to ask that those members of the city staff who will be testifying to please take an oath. As your case is called, I will be asking each of you to take an oath that you don't have to take it at this time. But Ms. Lowe and Mr. Green have stood. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give today should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
And let the record show that both have answered in the affirmative. We normally take the cases in the order in which they appear on the agenda. However, we do give preference to those persons who appear in person. I do understand we have 3 cases where there will be appearances in person. And for the record, there are 2 cases which appear to relate to the same piece of property but have separate violations under separate notices. Is that correct?
That's
All right. So we'll treat those cases separately in terms of what's going on. That being the case, we're going to call case number 24009. And the owner of that appears to be Kirat, Kirat LLC, property located at 102 North 19th Street. Is that correct? And do we have a representative from Kirat? Please come forward. And if you'd speak into the microphone, make sure we hear you. We are recording the hearing for the record. And what is your name, sir?
Jagjit Singh.
And what is your relationship to Kirat LLC?
I'm the manager of the property.
You're the manager?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been the manager?
About a year.
I'm sorry?
About a year.
A year?
Yes.
All right. Have you been familiar with the process before?
Actually,
This process?
no,
No,
this is my
okay.
first time.
Have you been in contact with the city regarding these violations?
Not directly. The owner, he got the violations and he explained me what we need to fix, and that's why I'm here.
Okay, on that subject, I'm big on due process, that is making sure that the owners have knowledge of the hearing and knowledge of the violations before they show up. In
Yes.
terms of what's going on. You said the owner. Who is the owner?
His name is Gurpreet Singh,
Okay, where is he located?
St. John's, Florida.
I'm sorry?
St. John's, Florida.
Okay, so he lives next county over?
Yes.
Okay. It looks like the city sent you sent a certified letter out? Oh, Ms. Lowe,
Yes, sir.
you send a certified letter out on this case?
Yes, sir. On the 15-day compliance and the notice of hearing.
All right. It looks like the statute, Florida statutes require that a notice be provided first by certified mail to the official address of the owner, as shown on the property appraiser and tax collector's rolls. And Ms. Lowe, you did that, is that correct?
That is correct.
And this address appeared to be 323 St. John's Forest Boulevard, St. John's, Florida, 32259, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that the owner's address?
Yes, sir.
All right, so he got that letter?
Yes.
You did get that letter. He didn't sign the green card, which was the return receipt from the postal service. Did you post the property, Ms. Lowe?
I did post the property, sir.
And did you see a posting on the property? It's basically a sheet of paper that the city leaves behind to let you know that the property has been subject to a code enforcement
Actually,
action.
he sent me. I didn't see that. Sorry. I didn't get that.
All right. So have you talked with the owner about this?
Yes.
And you can represent the owner with regard to these violations?
Yes, sir.
Because they're going to be presenting testimony about the violation, and they're going to be making recommendations, which I'll have to consider if there is a violation, if there's a fine that might be appropriate for this in order to help cure the violation.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
There's no fine today,
Okay.
fortunately, but nonetheless, so what's going to happen? Ms. Lowe is going to be presenting a case on behalf of the city with regard to the violations. It looks like that it's only one code provision, which is section 30-32A11. failure to repair, replace, remove broken fencing, is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
And fencing is in disrepair.
Yes, sir.
And just for the respondents' consideration, I believe you have the pertinent section of the code included in the record. And that section shows that failure to repair, replace, or remove broken fencing, screening, or decorative elements on a developed parcel or lot. And that's a pretty straightforward situation. Basically, we're talking about fencing around the property, correct?
We're talking about the fencing around the dumpster, sir. It's gonna be
All right.
in front of
The
us.
dumpster, all right. She's showing you some photographs that she took.
Has to be fixed.
Oh,
And Anthony was supposed to have it fixed. He started taking it down. But this is what needs to be put back
yeah,
up
Okay,
on this case.
okay,
Okay, I'll get you pictures.
okay.
and she's gonna, these will also appear on the screen as we discussed them. Okay, very good. They won't be appearing on the screen.
No problem. I saw the pictures.
You
Yeah.
have actual photographs, which is good
Yeah,
that you've
I
seen
see.
them.
Yeah.
And if you need physical copies of them for reference, they'll be glad to show them to you. Or I'll
No.
give you mine, whatever you need, to make sure you have them. All right, Ms. Lowe, you've got one alleged violation. Tell me about it. And
Yes, sir. We have, this case was first observed, January 22nd, 2024. It was set for the hearing and, notice for this hearing was sent October 4th, 2024. Complex posting and site posting were both done October 4th, 2024. And we only have one violation, and if you look at photo 1A in your packet, the first photo was taken on February 7th, 2024. And it's the fencing around the dumpster.
all right, and by the way, did you take the photographs you're about to show us?
That's correct.
And do the photographs accurately represent the condition of the property on date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right, I have photo 1A.
Yes, sir. 1A, it was taken February 7th, 2024.
Okay. And
And this you can see from four different sides. So you have Reed Street, Mosley Avenue, St. John's Avenue, and then North 19th Street is all
so,
frontage.
all right, and basically, I'm looking at 1A,
Yes, sir.
and it shows, it's basically boards missing from the fence, is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Anything else about that photograph that's a
No, sir.
violation?
That's it. It's just the fencing and disrepair.
Okay, what about 1B?
So 1B is just the current picture, no, excuse me, it's just another side that was taken on, February 7th, 2024.
Okay, and again, we're showing missing boards as
Just
the issue.
missing board, just on the backside.
All right, and what else?
So if you go to 2A, this was an updated photo taken October 7th, 2024. This, you can also see where the boards are almost now completely gone.
So what remedy is this, would solve
So
this problem?
basically, they just need to, put back up the privacy fence or the fencing around the dumpster to come into compliance.
Right, and what's the time between the time you first contacted the
So
owner with regard to this?
the
and today?
original, before I did this case, I was speaking to the property manager, his name was Anthony, and he was working on the building. He said he was gonna have this fixed, and when it didn't happen, I had to open up a new case because it was not in the original case.
Right, so this is the case we have now before us, though.
That's correct. It's the
Right.
first hearing.
So the last time you talked to Anthony was
It's
when?
been, I talked to him back in February.
Right, have you ever talked to this gentleman before?
No, sir.
Okay, anything else?
I know, sir, no, this.
Right. The city's looking basically for the owner to repair the fencing around this dumpster, which, does any have any questions concerning whether there's any problem with the city's
Hmm.
evidence in terms of the violation?
No, sir. She's totally right. Anthony was our hired contractor, and I think the owner put Miss Christie, with the Anthony straight contact. But there was some, I think, misunderstanding or something. He started the work. He did when we got the first violations, and there was few other violation. He corrected the others, but he couldn't finish this one. He started it, but he didn't finish it. Just needed some time, and I will take care of it in maybe next few days.
Okay. The reason I bring that up, usually these matters don't get to me unless there's been some effort to try to resolve the problem. And it is required by law that they make an effort, they being the city, to try to resolve the problem before it gets here.
Yes, sir.
The city doesn't really want to fine anybody. They don't really want the money. They want compliance.
Yes.
So you're saying that the reason that it's here is basically some misunderstanding concerning what needs to be done or what?
Yes, because Anthony's supposed to finish all the work was given to him, but like owner and him, there was no agreement and something. So he said he's coming, but he never showed up. So I think with the owner and him, and it never got to me where he actually told me straight as, okay, you go ahead, find another contract and do it. But when I just find out, and I'm going to get it done in a few days,
Right. Just so you know, if it gets to me, this is basically about motivation.
Yes, sir.
The city really wants you to get this done on behalf of the company in 30 days. And
Yes.
by that, I mean by November 14th. Is there any problem with being able to do that?
Probably just finding the right contractor to finish the other jobs. So we're looking into it.
Ms. Lowe, does this require a permit to replace
So
it?
no, sir, he's just speaking on this one, not the other work. So can you get the fencing done in 30 days?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
You don't need a
100%.
permit to do that.
No, sir.
I'm not
Okay.
going to suggest to you how you do it, but I'm sure the materials are readily available.
Yes.
And a hammer and nails might solve the problem, but it has to be relatively consistent. Is that correct? Ms.
That's
Lowe?
correct.
All right, you have to have the same appearance of the fence.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes.
the old one, I'm not sure where you're going, but probably you need to replace it all to make it look consistent. You just basically need to replace all the boards, but
Yes.
those are pretty readily available to you.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
We will replace the whole new fence.
So understand that on the 31st day, which would be November 15th, the city's asking for a $25 a day fine to start accruing on this property. So that's the motivation. All right,
Yes.
all right.
I will
Any
get it done.
questions about that?
No, sir.
All right, so like I said, they don't want your money, they want the fence put up.
Yes.
All right. Anything else for anyone? If not, based on the evidence and testimony presented and finding that there has been sufficient due process, that the owner has been notified and a representative of the owner is present, we're going to find there's a violation of section 30-32A11 of the city code due to the fencing in disrepair, that is specifically missing boards on the fencing surrounding the dumpster located on the property at 102 North 19th Street. The remedy will be to repair, replace, remove the broken fencing, probably to replace all the boards with a consistent appearance, fencing material. Owner will have 30 days from today's date to bring the property into compliance. That will be by the end of business on November 14th, 2025. In the event of non-compliant, is it the 14th, the 30th day or the 31st day?
The 14th is going to be the 30th day.
So the first fine will commence on November 15th. Not the 14th, of $25 a day will commence on November 15th, 2025. Just so you know, if it doesn't get resolved and the fines continue to add up, it can eventually turn into a lien on the property.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
So make sure the owner understands what needs to be done with regard to this. And like I said, these aren't complaints that happen in a vacuum. Usually somebody complains about it. So there'll be people watching what you're doing out there.
Yes.
And the city will have an interest in making sure it gets done. Please be sure you stay in touch with Ms. Lowe and let her know when the problem is solved,
Sure.
because you do not want to come back here.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll close that case. And next case also involves the same property. Is that correct, Ms.
That's
Lowe?
correct.
And this would be case 2023-93. Again, the respondent is Kirat, K-I-R-A-T LLC, property located at 102 North 19th Street in Palatka. Now, just so you know, this is a separate hearing, so I'm going to ask you to identify yourself again
Yes, sir.
by name.
Jagjit Singh.
And you have been previously sworn, have you? Well, raise your right hand for me.
Yes.
You solemnly swear from the testimony you give today to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right. And tell us again who you are
Jagjit Singh.
and what is your relationship to Kirat LLC?
I'm a manager of the property.
And you are hired by what specific person?
Gurpreet Singh.
And he is the
Owner.
principal of the Kirat LLC.
Yes, sir.
All right. And he received a notice of this hearing and the violation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Lowe, tell us about due process.
Yes, sir. This was. First case actually went to first hearing in August 19th, 2023. We did receive the green card back. It was posted, complex insight posting back in August 7th, 2024. And then this go around, the notice for second hearing was sent out October 4th. Complex posting and site posting is also on October.
And the owner got the message and told you to appear at this hearing.
Yes, sir.
All right. And the official address of record is 102 North 19th Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
And have you had any contact with this gentleman or the owner of Curat LLC?
Neither one of these gentlemen, sir, or the actual property owner. My contact person was Anthony, and had a letter from the actual property owner from the meeting we had that gave him permission. But I haven't had contact with him in a few months.
And just for the record, the property owner is actually the corporation, but you're talking about the
Yes.
principal of the LLC.
That's
Okay. All right. You have, well, the owner has received notice and a representative is in fact here. And you have personal knowledge of the matters that
Yes.
we're looking at. All right, Ms. Lowe is going to be discussing the violations, and appear to be 2 violations, and then the evidence to support those violations. And has he seen the photographs?
No, sir. He
Why
has
don't you
not
let him
seen
take a look at the
actual
photographs?
So the photographs in question are going to be section 3169, rotten and weakened wood, and the other one's also going to be 3069, mold and mildew.
Okay, we'll talk about those after he looks at the photographs.
So when we say rotten, we can wood.
Okay.
And I'll make sure you get copies
Okay.
and we can walk them. And then
Mhm.
this was bigger, but the size. And then
This the recent ones?
these are recent. This is October 7th, so that's what it looks like. And then Anthony was supposed to come pressure wash this and then repaint it.
Yeah, can I show you something real quick?
Mhm.
I don't know. So I asked. He said, I mean, it was a before pictures,
You're correct.
and then,
Yeah, he fixed
Yeah.
a lot of it.
yeah, so then most of them was fixed. but,
He did fix a
okay,
lot of it.
I got
So
it.
this is only what's left.
Okay.
And then I'll get you.
Oh,
And if you want my copies, I'd be glad to give them to you for
Okay.
reference.
no problem.
Because we're going to be talking about a few things. The violations are both of section 30-169 of the city code. One of the violation deals with subsection A, which talks about all deteriorated structural and decorative elements visible from a public right of way should be repaired or replaced. And they should be structurally sound. Rotten or weakened portions should be removed, repaired, or replaced in a manner compatible with the rest of the structure or to match the original materials and construction techniques. All exposed wood shall be stained, painted. Every part should be clean of graffiti, litter, dirt, or debris where surfaces of once painted stained, not more than 10% may be free of mold. Mildew should be clean from buildings having street visibility. Loose wires shall be secured. No more than 10% of the building having street visibility may have mildew. And then the other section is of 169. See, is that both of them?
They're both.
They're both, that was all the sections. So basically, they're looking at rotten or weakened wood around the trim of the building. And secondly, mold or mildew on the building visible from a public right of way.
That's correct.
You mentioned sidewalk.
So it's the front of the building, it's the sidewalk's got a bunch of mold and mildew, and especially where the yellow line is, and it's kind of slippery too when it.
All right, so you have some photographs to show me as
Yes, sir, I
demonstrative
do.
evidence? Did you take the photographs you're about to show us?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do they accurately represent the condition of the property on date in which you took them? All right, please proceed.
So this is gonna be a second hearing, and the first photograph. Let's take it September 14th, 2023. This was going to be the 1B, the follow-up from the original. And then if we look at 1C, you can still see where the damage is.
Okay, hang on. 1B was taken on September 14th of last year.
Last year, yes, sir.
Right, so we're looking at damaged wood on the corner
That's correct.
soffit of the building. And this was visible from 19th Street.
This is visible from, yes, sir, St. John's, Mosley, and, St. John's, Mosley, 119,
All right. Where were you standing when you took the photo?
right there. Mosley and St. John's.
Okay. Next,
So this is going to be 2B taken on September 14th. And then 2C is taken from the same angle, standing on St. John's Avenue. There's now a sign up there. There's a business in the store now, but she put the sign over the rotten pecan wood, and you can still see about 8 inches of the rotten pecan wood.
so basically we're still looking at the corner soffit
That's correct.
visible from that corner. Okay.
And then on 4B, some of this has already been corrected. This is just what's left. So 4B is going to be 9/14/2023, and then if you look at 4C, standing from North 19th Street, you can still see where it's piecing and falling apart.
Again, we're looking at, what is that? See,
It's the trim work right on the front of the building. This is facing North 19th Street.
is there a little alcove there? Is that what we're looking at? And this is over that alcove?
Right over it, right underneath the second part of the block work.
Sir, do you understand where both of these locations are in the
Yes.
building?
Yes, sir. When I saw the picture,
So what is you need to replace the soffit on the corner. What needs to be done to bring this into compliance?
So right
I'm talking
here,
about 4C.
you're looking at 4C, that soffit board needs to be removed and a new one put up. He did, excuse me, not this gentleman, the other contractor did replace the other part. There's about 12 foot that he did replace, but this part did not get replaced.
Okay. What next?
So the next one was taken on 9/14/2023. You've got the mold and mildew on the top rim of the building, and it's also on the bottom and on the sidewalk. It's mold and mildew. You can see it visibly from the roadway. And if you look at the arrows, you can see the top and the bottom.
The bottom part on 9B, the photo I'm looking at, the two arrows,
Yes, sir.
the bottom, it looks like there's two parts of that. One is looks like
It's
the
a-
lower
it's like a
half, lower
step.
part of the building.
It's a step.
Is that part of the building?
It is part of it. Yes, sir. And then on 9C,
Is how much of those parts of the building are
so when you're looking at
affected?
that, it's about right at, if I did my math correctly, it's 38 to 40%.
So basically the cure for that is
Is
what?
pressure wash and get the mold and mildew off.
All right, what's next?
And the next one, I just did an update, just a closer view of what you could see the steps, how you have to step up onto the building, and it gets when the mold and mildew is slippery.
Anything else?
Oh, sir, that's it.
So I'm looking at three things. One, wooden soffit at the front corner of the building that needs to be replaced. I'm looking at some soffit work over the alcove of the building that needs to be replaced. And I'm looking at some concrete building portions that need to be pressure washed. Is that
That is
it?
correct, sir. That's what's left in this case.
all right? So we got three things. Right. And I always ask this question because I always ask, how these matters got to me. Usually there's been some effort to try to get compliance and it hasn't happened. So how come this hasn't been addressed before now? First of all, do you disagree with any of what the
No.
city's saying?
no.
All right, that being the case, how come it hasn't happened before now?
Like I said earlier with that other situation, Anthony was doing it like Miss Christie, she know, but somehow I think he didn't finish the whole job. He was doing it and then he left. There was other violation too. He corrected it, but like she said, he finished the 12-foot one and left the 4-feet one. So he didn't finish all the job properly as city wanted him to do it. He only corrected it halfway and left the halfway. So, but to my knowledge, I would like to have these pictures and I will get it done in
Right.
some time.
Well, where they are with it, this is not the first time, is that right, Ms. Lowe? We're here
That's
for,
correct. It's the same.
and we're here for which, to have a lien placed on the property?
That's correct. The city's asking for additional.
The reason I ask about the delay is this was apparently heard, first hearing was what,
August 19th, 2023.
it's been over a year ago. And these violations were found over a year ago. And nothing has been done to bring them into total compliance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I'm sorry, if you can take your discussions outside of chambers.
Thank you. Thank you. So the result of all that has been that the $25 a day fine has been clicking along since last year. And that fine is now $14,650. And the city is looking to have a lien placed on the property, which is something that they're entitled to, unless there's some reason it shouldn't be. And right now, there's been one constant owner since the beginning, and that was the Curat LLC. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that owner, did they appear at the first hearing?
No, sir, the property manager did.
Property, but a representative appeared. So we've actually had someone who got notice of the hearing and made an appearance at the hearing and understood what needed to be done. And nothing was done to complete the problem, and permit's not required for this. Is that correct, Ms. Lane?
That's correct.
So none of the remedies require a permit. The city's entitled to their lien. I'd give you a chance to respond to all that. I mean, I know you're new to the situation, but you're the one who's here.
Yes.
So the city really wants to get this done. And once the lien's placed on it, the city commission is the one that gets to reduce any amounts of that. I don't have that opportunity at that point, just so you know. Anything you'd like to say, Mr. President?
All I'm asking is, just if you can forgive us and just give us one last chance and give us like a 2 week, and I will get everything done. And I will stay in touch with Miss Lowe and make sure I will meet her at the property and get everything done as soon as possible.
Well, again, the city's entitled to it. I'll leave it up to the city whether they think it's appropriate. But remember, this has been going on for a year and it hasn't had a solution. So last chances are hard to come by sometimes.
This is on me now. So.
I know you weren't the one who was here, but unfortunately, you're the one who showed up today as a
Yeah.
representative of the owner.
Yes.
And the owner's not a person, it's actually a corporation. So you happen to be the one who's hearing this news. So they're entitled to the lien. Is any inclination? He's asking for some time. He's not necessarily entitled to it, but
The city stance right now, we'd like the official lien on this case. And then I'm giving him all my information now, sir. And then we can, once it comes into compliance, and we can discuss everything else on the back end.
they're not enforcing the lien right away, but it does create a blemish on the record that needs to be resolved at some point in time. All right, anything else?
I would just like to let you know that as Officer Lowe just indicated, once you bring the property into compliance, you can come back to us and ask and apply for a lien reduction. So as soon as you get that into compliance, it's in your best interest to come back and talk to us about getting it reduced, but it has to be in full compliance first.
Sure.
And keep in mind, the $25 a day keeps adding on until you get this solved.
Yes. Sir.
Okay,
Yes.
then you can come back and apply, all right?
Yes, sir.
There's a motivation here, but it's been a year.
Yes,
All
sir. Yeah.
If hearing nothing else, we're going to find that regarding the case, we're going to find that there's been continuing violation of sections 30-169 of the code regarding to rotten or weakened wood around the soffits and above the alcove of the building as viewed from public street, and that there's mold and mildew on the building and steps that are part of the building in excess of 10% of the area of those areas. This has been a problem that's going on for almost a year since the date of the last hearing. The city has requested, and I will grant an order allowing the city to place a lien on the property at 102 North 19th Street, Palatka, Florida 32177. The fines will continue until abated or satisfied. Okay.
Yes.
Please go back and tell your principal
Yes.
that this needs to be addressed sooner than later. No permits are required.
Yes,
This is fairly straightforward.
Yes.
They need to get this fixed. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
telephone number. This is the address in my office, but I'll stop by and see it.
All the pictures.
That should be on there, except the fence. I can run it.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so.
And that's my telephone.
All right, do we have someone else who's present? Who's next? Well, I had 809 North.
809 is next and then 522.
I'm sorry?
809 is next. And
Okay.
then 522
And
North.
you have someone who will be appearing by what method?
Yes, sir. I guess you make it.
See if you can find them. I say that advisedly, they're in the nether world, but they're out there somewhere. And we will not be able to see them, only hear them. Is that
That's
correct?
correct.
Okay. Who's the name of the principal? Sorry,
Property doctor.
You know them?
No.
there's not a real person somewhere? Is there a real person at the,
Luke
Yeah.
Joseph is the property owner now.
Oh,
Who is?
Luke Joseph is
Oh,
the.
Luke?
this is the transfer you were talking
Yeah.
about. Okay, okay.
Luke Joseph, correct? And that's who's going to be appearing? Is it Luke Joseph or Joseph Luke?
Luke Joseph.
Okay.
I just tried to text him and find out the actual date that he brought the property, so y'all would know, but he hasn't responded either.
Hasn't responded back.
Officer Green, I'm gonna have you, if you don't mind, go through the chronology of ownership once again. I'm gonna look it up on the property appraiser site because this is one that I had flagged for that.
So you sent out, he knows to call in at a certain time or?
He's showing that he's on our Zoom, sir, but I've asked him to unmute. And I also sent him a direct message and he hasn't responded yet.
Can he hear us?
Should be able to
He
hear
should be able to
us.
hear us. Our audio and our video.
If Mr. Luke Joseph can hear us, please unmute so that we can hear you. We're ready to proceed. All right,
He's calling me now.
okay.
Yes, sir, Mr. Luke. He said he can't unmute for some reason.
But I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Let's do that. And tell you what you do, when he speaks, make sure you get as close to the microphone as possible and see what's going on. All right, we're going to proceed with case number 2022-033. Property owner is 5T Wealth Partners LP / Property Dockers. Now I understand that the owner is Luke Joseph. Is that correct? Sir,
Yes,
are you Luke Joseph, sir?
yes, sir.
All right, very good. Glad you were able to maintain contact with us. The property is located at 809 North 14th Street in Palatka. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And whose case is this?
It's mine.
Mr. Green's case. All right. Mr. Green is going to be Mr. Joseph, and your last name was Joseph, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You had kind of two first names. I want to make sure you have them in the right order. Sometimes they get reversed. So you are the owner of record of this property at 809 North 14th Street?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to ask you to do something very bizarre. I'm going to ask you to please take an oath for me. I'm taking your word as to who you are with regard to this. But one of the requirements of law is that our testimony must be sworn. And one of the requirements is that we swear you in. So would you take the following oath for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give today to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right. And what Mr. Green is going to do he is going to present the city's case that there's a violation of certain ordinances. It looks like they've got 4 alleged violations. One of section 30-213-1A of the city code dealing with insecure entryways. That is, the building is not protected from entrance by, anyone, especially someone who might not ought to be there, trespassers or whomever. Also a violation of section 30-32A1, overgrown grass on the property, section 30-171, broken windows, and 30-169, rotten or weakened wood and deteriorating paint and mold and mildew on the property. So these are mostly, it looks like, cosmetic issues as opposed to anything structural with the property, but they're still violations of the code. Now, my understanding that this started with contact with the previous owner of the property, 5T Wealth Partners LP. Did you buy this property from that corporation?
Yes, sir. I got it to a quick claim deed 2 weeks ago.
Say again, Mr. Joseph.
I purchased it via a quick claim deed 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, he brought the
2
property.
weeks ago? Did the owners tell you about this pending code enforcement action?
She says there were violations, but I did not know it was a lien until I spoke to Mr. David the other day.
So did you know about these when you bought the property, the violations? Okay.
Yes, he said there were code violations, and I said, okay, that's not a problem. I can clear those code violations, but I
Okay.
did not know they were already a lien.
All right. All right. Well, Mr. Green is going to present the city's case regarding the 4 alleged violations and the evidence that the city has. Now, one of the disadvantages you have is that Mr. Green is going to have some what we call demonstrative evidence. That means photographs. And he's going to identify those photographs and explain to us what it is. We're going to do our best to try to include you, make sure that you know what these photographs are. Are you familiar with the property? You visited the property, correct?
I emailed him a packet.
You did email him the photographs?
Yes, Mr. Edwin did email it to me today.
All
Yes,
right. And so you do have copies of these photographs?
yes, I do, sir.
And you have copies of the ordinances that were alleged to be violated?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so Mr. Green's going to talk to us about what the violations are and what specific ordinances they are. So you're going to hear him making references to photographs, and his photographs are numbered. And so he'll be referencing those by number and the violations that he sees and claims exist in each of those photographs. And then after that, you'll have a chance to answer any questions, to ask any questions, to make any statements and present any evidence that you may wish to make. Okay? So
Yes,
right now,
sir.
then this is the first hearing, is that right, Mr. Green?
No, for the second hearing.
Second hearing, so you're seeking a lien on the property? When, wow. How much of the total accrued lien of fines at this time?
69,000.
How much?
69,000
69,000. How long has this been going on?
since 7/18/2022.
Where's it been for 2 years? That's a lot of fines.
Yes, sir. We're just
Well,
catching up on our cases, our old cases now.
all right. All right, well, the city's seeking a lien on the property, which is something they're entitled to under the law. The fines have been accruing for 2 years now, and they've come to quite a bit of money with regard to this. Did the previous owners tell you about that there were actually fines accruing?
He said there were code violations.
Yeah. You might want to talk to them about that, but I'll leave that up to you and your legal counsel to sort that one out. But nonetheless, you're now in the middle of a lawsuit, not a lawsuit, but a administrative action. And there's some things about it. Unfortunately, the way the statute that governs these activities reads, the new owner is still the one who's going to be responsible at this point, once you've taken over ownership. You did indicate that you knew about the violations. You didn't indicate you knew about the amount of the fines. Is that correct?
No, I do not know the amount of the funds, no.
Yeah, well, nonetheless, we're here with regard to all of that. All right, Mr. Green, go ahead. Is he still with us?
Yes, he's.
All right, go ahead and talk to us about the violations. And I believe legal counsel for the city has asked that you give a chronology of the case. And let's go back and start at the beginning so that Mr. Joseph understands all of has happened until now.
Case first observed 6/22/22.
Tell you what, David, make sure you get close up to the phone
Okay.
and speak into the mic so they can pick you up.
Case first observed 6/22/22. The notice of hearing was sent to 5T Wealth Partners LP. No green card was returned. The first case hearing was held on 07/18/2022. A daily fine was assessed on 11/16/2022. Fines up to $69,000.
How much were the fines per day?
$100.
$100?
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes, sir.
$25 a day for each violation.
Yes, sir.
$100 a day. Okay.
Yes, sir. The next for the second.
When did you find out about the change of ownership?
10/02/24
How did you find out?
through my property appraiser and tax collector. They have two different addresses for the property owner, so I sent a notice of hearing to 5T Wealth and Property Doctors.
Well, before the previous owner, which was 5T Wealth Partners, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Before the previous owner sold the property, had you been in contact with them about this issue?
No, sir.
What attempt did you make to contact them?
I sent a note of 15-day violation and then I sent a notice of hearing to them.
And did anyone representing the previous owner attend the first hearing?
No, sir.
All right. Did you have any contact with the previous owner after the first hearing?
No, sir.
All right. And once you got the notice from the property appraiser, you then contacted the new owner, is that
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Did the new owner know about any of this before you contacted him?
I didn't have any contact with him.
Well, okay, you did or did not contact?
I didn't.
So this is the first time you talked to Mr. Joseph?
I talked to Mr. Joseph on the 10/11/2024 on Friday, and he was out there working on it. And he told me he just brought the property. He told me he just brought the property and he was gonna clean it up and he would be at the hearing.
All right. So he's here and he knew, and he has all the information and the notice
Yes.
and the violations and the code references for the violations.
Yes, I sent him an email.
All right, so what we're gonna do now, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Green's gonna go through and show us each of the violations and the evidence he has in support of them. And you're about to show us some photographs, Mr. Green?
Yes, sir.
Did
Picture
you take-
one.
Did you take each of these photographs?
Yes, sir.
And do the photographs accurately represent the condition of the property on date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed.
This is picture one. It's taken 6/22/22.
Okay.
And you see the rotten and weakened wood and unsecured entryway. The rotten and weakened wood, I'm standing on North 14th Street. The rotten and weakened wood is above the door, the soffit, and the unsecured entryway is the front door and some windows. The date I took this picture was so much vegetation too, we couldn't see anything else. But you will see the difference in picture 1C. 1C was taken.
All right, so just for the reference, picture one, which references code violation on 30-169 of the code and 30-213 of the code, being rotten interior wood and unsecured entries. Mainly, there's no barrier to prevent entry through the window
No,
and
sir.
door.
No, sir, it's not.
And then the wood was the soffit over the doorway, that's the
Yes.
front doorway.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next.
Picture 1C was taken 10/11/2024. As you can see more violations. You can see the broken windows better, and you can see more rotten and weakened wood over the soffit, over the front door and front windows. And I was standing on North 14th Street at this time.
And Mr. Joseph, this photograph, which is number 1C, appears to be a photograph of the property at 809 North 14th, showing significant amount of rotten wood over the front doorway, an completely open doorway. It looks like an open back doorway. It looks like window frames or transoms with no windows in them. Are there any windows in this house at all?
No, sir.
Okay. Which allow unsecured entry into the home. And what about the roof on the left, Mr.?
It was so much vegetation, we didn't see any. We couldn't see that.
So what needs to be done in 1C to bring this property into compliance?
Either put windows and doors in the building or put plywood up to the windows and secure the doorway and remove the rotten and weakened wood with components compatible to the structure.
So windows and doors, or secure them, could you just board them up?
Yes, sir.
Boarding them up with plywood would be sufficient?
Yes, sir.
All right. But repairing the soffit over the doorway and the set of windows to the left of the doorway, looks like that's rotten also, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Anything else that needs to be done there?
Board the windows up and.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
board the windows up, repair the soffit.
Yes, sir.
It looks like some of the rotten wood goes up into the gable over the front door.
Yes, sir. Like I said, we can see everything now since the vegetation. has
Does
been
any of that
removed.
require permit?
No, sir.
So you can do that without a permit.
Yes, sir.
Show me what's next. Number 2.
Number 2, this is taking 6/22/22, and you can see the rotten weakened wood, the unsecured entryway, and you have mold and mildew. 20% of the wall on the left-hand side.
Is this a different elevation?
No, so I'm still standing on North 14th Street.
So it's the same elevation as 1C?
Yes, sir. It's the first, still in the front of the house. It's just left to the front door. It's another entryway, another door.
There's another door other than
Yes.
the one in 1C?
Yes, sir.
It's got 2 front doors?
Yes, sir.
The duplex?
No, sir.
It's
Just
got
a
two
side,
front-
a
it's
side
got
door.
two- Okay.
Yes, sir.
Where were you standing when you took photograph 2?
North 14th Street.
That's a public right of way.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what violations are you looking at in number 2?
Rotten and deteriorating wood, unsecured entry, and mold and mildew.
So you're looking at 30-169 code, rotten deteriorating wood where? Can you verbalize that for me?
Sir,
Can you verbalize what rotten and deteriorated wood the city finds as a violation?
the door,
All right. The doorway, just the
the
door
wooden
itself?
door, yes, sir, I'm sorry, the door, the wooden door right there was,
So that
whatever was
door,
blocking, yes, sir, the
So-
wood is coming down a little bit and then it's torn and ripped around the door.
and the reason I ask, you have 30-169 rotten and deteriorating wood and 30-213 unsecured entry.
Yes, sir,
So basically you need
you can
a
get,
plywood or a door.
yes, sir, you can get through that door, yes, sir,
I'm sorry?
you can get through that door, it's just rotten and weakened wood on the
So
top.
the only thing rotten is the door.
Yes, sir,
Okay. So I'm asking. And what about mold and mildew?
on the left side of that door, or the right side,
And can you give me an estimate as to how much of the surface of the home is, or the building is covered with mold and mildew?
15%,
How much?
15%.
And base that on how? How'd you come up with that?
Me being a code enforcement officer for the past 2 years.
Okay, what about 2C?
2C was taken 10, 11, 2024, and you can still see the door still there in the rotten weakened wood and unsecured entry.
So it's the same door, or what's left of it in the same condition,
Yes, sir.
and the unsecured entryway.
Yes, sir.
So that's reference 30-169 and 30-213.
Yes, sir.
Number 3,
Number 3 is showing rotten deteriorating wood. This is
is
taking
this still the front elevation?
Yes, sir.
Is this over the 3 windows to the left of the front
Yes, sir.
door?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the kind of thing you need to articulate.
Okay.
What about 3C?
3C is showing the same thing. It's taking 10, 11, 2024. I'm standing on North 14th Street and it's showing a rotten weakened wood soffit over the 3 windows.
So still the front door, rotten wood over the door and the 3 windows set to the left of the door,
Yes, sir.
and looks like some rotten wood up in the gable, correct?
Yes, sir. We couldn't see
So it's
anything.
essentially unchanged
No, sir, it hasn't been changed.
in 2 years.
No, sir.
What about number 4?
Number 4 was showing some mold and mildew on the side walls,
And the remedy for that is what?
pressure wash.
That's all it needs?
Yes, sir.
And number 4C,
It's showing with the vegetation gone now so you can see it better. And this picture was taken 10, 11, 2024.
and again, the remedy there is pressure washing.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm hearing from you is, with regard to section 30-213-1A of the code, needs to secure the entryways, and that's basically the doors and the windows, since the windows are open.
Yes, sir.
And either you put in doors and windows, or you board
Them
what you
up.
don't replace.
Yes, sir.
Number, section 30-32A1, overgrown grass, I didn't see anything in there about that.
I took that one out, but it was still there.
So
At
we're
the
not
time,
looking at overgrown grass as an issue.
It was still there at the time he was there working on it. So I left it in because it was still there after I sent the notice of hearing for the second lien. So I'm gonna take it off until the fines, that he get the rest of the
Well, it's
fines.
$25 a day, so
Yes, sir.
there's compliance.
Yes, sir.
Is there compliance?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take that one off, but the fines that he has rolling now will still continue until he
You'll
get the
take
rest
them off starting when,
today.
right?
But the rest of the fines, the rotten and weakened wood, the unsecure, and the mold and mildew will still go on till.
All right. So
Correct.
so we're not looking at 30-32A anymore, but let's look at 30-171 that's broken windows. Relates back to unsecured entryways. You
Yes,
need to have windows put in or
Plywood.
you need to have
Boarded up.
boarded up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as to 30-169 rotten and weakened wood, that needs to be replaced over the front doorway and the three windows on the front of the house to
Yes,
the
sir.
left of the doorway, and looks like there's a plank or two in the gable above the doorway. Is that
Yes, sir.
And then deteriorating paint and mildew requires pressure wash.
Yes, sir.
Does any of this repair require a permit from the city?
No, sir.
How much, and today you're looking for a lien on the property
Yes, sir.
based on the accrued. And what the precise amount of fines that have accrued today, $69,000 even?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes.
Came out exactly even.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Joseph, from what the city is telling me, they're claiming that we have these insecure or unsecure entryways. That means that a door needs to be put on the front of the building and windows need to be put in the building. It looks like the back door is also open and that needs to be secured in some way. Because I can see through the front of the house. That still allows unauthorized access into the house, creates a safety issue. So either the doorways and the windows need to be replaced or they need to be boarded. You have any
Yes.
comment about any of that concerning whether you think those issues exist or anything that needs to be done about it?
Oh, no, everything needs to be done, and also say a whole lot more than what the inspector was able to see, because he was not able to go to the back. So what we are doing currently, we started since last week. We are going to not only clean the entire yard completely, and also completely remodel the entire building.
Okay. Well, it's important that these be done as quickly as possible because where this is, there's no grace period anymore. I mean, there's already been a violation that has been found and fines have been accruing for a couple of years now on this. And you don't want to have those fines continue to accrue because Mr. Green's indicated they're not going to charge any more fines for overgrown grass, but fines for the other three violations are $25 a day each. That's $75 a day. So it's important that this be addressed. What about the rotten and weakened wood and deteriorating paint and mildew? Basically, that's going to require some replacement of the soffit over the front door and the front three windows and to have the house pressure washed. Yep.
Everything, all those will be done by this weekend. By Saturday, everything should be complete.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add to it?
No, sir. So we will, what we will do is to make sure everything that's Mr. David showed to us will be completed this weekend by Saturday. But the remaining items, it's gonna take a while because we have to have permit for what we're going to do in the back of that house, because the entire back of that house is rotten. We have to demolish it and then we build it.
All right, what the city's asking for today, and quite frankly, they're entitled to it, is to have a lien that can be recorded on the property. Once that lien's recorded, there's a process you can go through to apply to the city to have all the fines reduced in some way based on whatever case you can make for that. And it's not something I will deal with, but just so you know that's available to you. However, the city's entitled to their lien and that will be recorded on the public records and it's something that'll have to be removed. And that lien at that point in time belongs to the city commission. So it's going to be up to them as how they want to handle that. But do you understand that process?
Yes,
All right.
can you give me at least a week
Yeah.
before the lien is recorded, because I promise I can get everything done by this weekend. We already started, like Inspector saw when he went there, my dad and I and two other guys was working on it. We will get it done.
Well, here's what you need to do. You know how to get in touch with Mr. Green?
Oh, yes, I call him all the time.
All right, well, stay in touch with him and make sure he knows exactly when you bring these properties into compliance.
Okay.
And sooner the better, because you don't want to have these fines continue to accrue.
I will
All
be
right.
done by this weekend.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, wait. As soon as my dad and I finished on Saturday, I will call Mr. Good on Monday for him to stop by and then take it from there.
All right. And just make sure I've got your correct address. Do we have that correct address, Mr. Green?
No, sir.
Can you
I'm
give
going
us,
to email Mr. Good right now the correct address.
all right, have you got it?
You can email the address.
Okay.
I'm gonna email it to him.
But make sure you have it, because they're gonna start sending, your testimony today is that's your correct address. They're gonna start sending you notices and any other information about this to the address you give them.
Yes.
At this point in time, you have the property appraisers correct? Did they have the correct address?
No, sir.
They do not.
No,
All
sir.
right.
Neither does.
How did you find out about it if they didn't tell you? They
I
don't have
called
it?
Mr. Green.
So he contacted you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So his property appraiser's role still don't show it.
No, it still shows 5T Wealth and Property Dollars.
Very good. All right,
Because I
anything
found
else,
the
anyone?
violation at the door, and I called Mr. Green as soon as I get it, and I tell him, oh, we just acquired that place and we gonna start working on it, whatever.
All right, Ms. Judge, thank you for appearing today. We appreciate it. I know it's been a little difficult. We do encourage you to stay in touch with the city with regards to this. I think you'll find them cooperative in trying to address the issue. But I think the main thing is that, people watch these properties in the community. They will complain. So it's not like you're operating in a vacuum. There'll be people watching what's happening and they'll be asking the city to keep doing something about it. So it's important that you address these issues as quickly as possible, then try to resolve some of the other matters dealing with what's transpired before you bought the property. Okay?
No, yes, sir, I understand that. And I would have done the same way too, because we don't want to rotten property next door from you, so I know they
All right.
have to.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming today, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, you too.
Thanks.
Hi. Well, who's next?
522.
520? Yes. Yeah, let's go back. You make sure I make a formal statement that because we find that violations as to 3 of the 4, not including 30-32A1 overgrown grass continue, we're going to find it appropriate to authorize the city attorney's office to prepare and file a lien on the property, and we'll issue an order to that effect.
Oh.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes, sir. Who is this? Which case?
I'm
522.
This is 522
Yeah.
North Fifth Street.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna move to case number 2024-122, property located at 522 North Fifth Street, Palatka, Florida. Owner of record, Richard L. Huddleston Jr. Would that be you, sir?
Yes.
You are here. Thank you for
Yes.
coming and waiting through all the others.
Oh,
And you're the owner of the property at
Yes.
522 North?
yes.
All right, and you know about raising your hand for the oath. Do you
Yeah.
solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give today should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, you've perhaps seen through some other hearings. Whose case?
Mine.
Mr. Green is going to be making a presentation regarding alleged violations. Is this a first case?
Yes, sir.
First case.
First hearing.
He's alleging 3 potential violations. One of 30-169, rotten and weakened wood and deteriorating paint, visible from a public right of way. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And 30-32A2, overgrown grass. And it's in parenthetically living matter on the building. Are those different things, or is it just living matter on the building?
The living matter on the building, overgrown grass is
I can't
growing.
wait for you to tell me what living
Yes.
matter constitutes.
The ivory.
Hang on, 30-171 broken windows and which need to be repaired or covered, and 30-32A1 trash and debris. We talking man-made
Yes,
debris
sir.
on the property,
Yes, sir.
visible from a right of way or a
Yes, sir.
neighboring property.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you have, go ahead and tell us about the case, the due diligence,
Yes, sir.
due process, and then
Yes.
what you have.
I mailed a notice hearing on 10/02/2024. It was returned unsigned. Unopened from the postal service. I posted the property on 10/02/2024. I did a site posting at City Hall at 10/02/2024.
Did you send a letter to P.O. Box 41, Lake Como,
Yes,
Florida,
sir.
32157?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Huddleston, is that your correct mailing address?
No, it changed.
It's changed?
Yes.
And when did it change?
It's been, I don't know, about 8 months or so.
Okay, just so you know, state law requires that the city use the official address of record as exists on the property appraiser and tax collector's rolls. So
Mhm.
just so you know, that's apparently the address they have for you.
That's why I wasn't getting this stuff, so I didn't know.
Well, just letting you know. The city, that's what's called a safe harbor provision where the city knows where to contact you. And state law has provided a means of how they go about contacting you. And so they start with a certified letter to the official address of record. That came back, and what was the notation?
Yes, sir.
What was the notation on the letter? The
Yes,
postal service on the
UT
yellow
It
part.
came
there.
back UTF. Returned to sender not delivered as address, unable to
Okay.
forward.
And so after that, he posts the property. Is that how you found out about this?
Yeah, my lower floor renter, he said, this is posted on your front door, and I immediately came over.
And you posted the property in accordance with state statute, correct, Mr. Green?
Yes, sir.
And you filed your affidavit of service in the record.
Yes, sir.
All right, and it's just requirements to make sure you
Mm.
know about it, and you're here.
Uh,
Thank you for coming.
I tried to fix whatever I thought he wanted, but
Okay, all right, Mr. Green, tell us about the alleged violations.
This picture was taken.
Okay, back up. So you're gonna show me some photographs?
Yes, sir.
And do he have a copy of them?
Yes, sir.
yes,
He's got a copy of the photograph, and each of the photographs references the ordinance in particular.
Yes, sir.
All right, and did you take each of the photographs?
Yes, sir.
And do the photographs accurately represent the condition of property and date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed.
This picture was taken 07/31/2024.
Which picture is that?
1A.
Okay. And this references
To the broken windows.
30-171,
Broken windows.
and there's how many?
There's one there at 1A. And I'm standing on Bronson Street. This is the rear of the house.
So this count is 3 broken windows or 1?
It's 3 broken windows.
All right, there are 3 panes missing.
Yes, sir.
The
At the
lower
bottom.
side. Okay, and the remedy is
Place.
the
and
windows?
repair.
Okay. Is this a elevate, is this a second story window?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else on that one?
No, sir.
Okay,
This
next.
picture 1B, this picture was taken 10/14/2024. All 3 of the windows are now out, no cardboard. Standing on Bronson Street, and this is the rear of the house, second level of the house, right side.
Is it the same color on the house on both
Yes.
photos?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the 3 lower panes, and this picture was taken from Fifth Street?
Yes, sir.
North Fifth
No, it
Street?
was taken from Bronson,
I'm sorry?
Bronson Street.
All right, just house on a corner?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Next.
This is picture 2A. This picture was taken 7/31/2024. Dealing with section 30-171 broken windows.
Where is this window located?
This is the bottom left side of the house, rear side of the house, still standing on Bronson Street.
This is a side view,
This is
side
rear.
elevation?
It's the rear of the house.
Okay, and you were standing on Bronson Street when you
Yes,
took
sir.
this? Okay, and is the glass there? It looks like the transom is broken.
Yes, sir.
Is the glass there at all?
Yes, sir.
So what needs to be done there to fix the
Repair
transom?
the slash.
It's a sash and
Yes, repair it.
I mean, what needs to be done? Just take that one piece of wood and put it back up?
The first piece on the top and the bottom piece also was starting to deteriorate. So you need to take both pieces off and replace them with components compatible to the structure or the window.
Are they rotten or just not painted?
They look like they're rotten. They are rotten.
Okay. All right, next, looking at 2B.
This is 2B. It was taken 10/11/2024. And it's showing at the same elevation, standing on Bronson Street, same window.
All right, again, it looks like the two pieces of wood in the window casing need to be replaced.
Yes, sir.
Is the city's position.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next.
This picture was taken 7/31/2024. It's a 3A. I'm standing on North Field Street and it's showing trash and debris on the front porch. If I'm facing the house, it's on the right side under the window on the right side of the house.
So just for the record, I'm looking at this photo number 3A. I'm looking at a chair. I'm looking at a number of man-made items. Looks like it might be an umbrella and some other items. I'm not sure I can necessarily identify. A chair, a grill, and there's a pink bicycle in the front.
Yes, sir.
So what part of that's a violation?
I have an arrow pointing at the trash and debris beside the window.
So the grill's okay.
Yes, sir.
And the
grill, the
bike,
chair,
I
and the
presume the
bicycle.
bike's okay.
Yes,
there,
sir.
you know. What about the chair?
Chair is okay also.
I'm sorry?
The chair is okay also.
Okay, that'd be okay.
Yes, sir.
Both chairs or just, there are two chairs there.
I only see one chair. Oh, I see the other chair. Yes, sir.
Well, there are two chairs. There's one by the grill and there's one on the left side of the picture.
Okay, I see it. No chair, both chairs, the grill and the bicycle is okay. It's just the trash and debris that's on the
Okay.
porch floor.
It's just the man-made material there in 138. Okay, what's next?
And this is, was taken 10/11/2024. This is picture 3B. Staying on North Field Street and under the window of the right side of the house, and you still can see trash and debris on the floor of the porch.
Is the trash can okay?
Yes, sir. The trash can and the chair is okay, just the trash that's on the floor, debris on the floor.
4A. And we're looking in the yard, is that
For,
correct?
yes, sir, listen to, this is on the, if you're facing the house, it's on the left side of the house. I'm standing on North Field Street.
Okay.
And it's a yard. with trash.
Specifically, what am I looking at that you
You're
don't
looking at
know?
the mattress, a couple of pillowcases, a tire. The piece, like a piece of a wood stove next to the mattress.
Okay. All right, 4B,
Or B, they cleaned up a little bit, but they still have little man-made material there, a box, look like a toy or something. And debris right there under the smaller arrow. I couldn't tell what it was, but it's some man-made material that shouldn't be there.
and just for my understanding, this board fence I'm looking at in 4A and 4B, is that on the neighbor's property?
Oh, that should be their property, should be his fence.
So that fence doesn't go all the way around the property?
No, sir.
Okay. So you were standing on Fifth Street
Yeah, North Field
and no
Street.
fence between you and Fifth Street?
No, sir.
Okay.
This is 5/8, taking 7/31/2024, and it's showing rotten and weakened wood around the windows.
And this is viewed from which street?
Bronson Street, I'm sorry.
Bronson Street?
Yes, sir. And this picture was taken
Is this on
7.
the back or side of the
The
house?
side, this is on the side of the house.
And so what needs to be replaced there, just that one
No, it's
board,
actually,
vertical board on the left side of the window?
both sides need to be replaced. You'll see it on this picture, 5B.
Oh, okay. That's in 5B.
Yes, sir, 5B, was picture taken 10/11/2024, rotten and weakened wood.
Okay.
And the arrows are pointing to the rotten and weakened wood on both sides. It need to be, replaced with components compatible to the window.
All right, show me 6A.
6A is the overgrown grass with a little mat on the house.
Now I'm gonna ask you something.
Yes, sir.
Is it against the law in Palatka, or does Palatka have like vines growing on your house?
No, sir.
Hmm?
It's overgrown grass.
Well, what's the code say?
So the code on this is 30-32 subsection A2, excessive and untended growth of grass, weeds, brush, branches, and other overgrowth.
You see where I'm coming from, Ellen?
I do.
I mean, I'm having this vision of vine-clad halls or something like, on some kind of
English ivy.
English ivy or something like that that's cultivated. Let me ask Mr. Huddleston a question while you're here. Are you cultivating these
No.
vines, or are they just growing
Yeah,
wild?
I took them out, they just keep growing back.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah.
That means you're cultivating it, and that means that you're rather cutting them off rather than
Well,
letting them grow.
well, I personally, I think they look nice kind of growing up in there, but if you want me to take them, sorry, take it down, I will.
It can get a little untended. That's the only problem with it, is
Mhm.
certainly what's going on. All right, let me give some thought to that.
Okay.
So the city's position, Mr. Green, is that correct?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that? Do we know what genus of plant is this English ivy?
It is not, this is an exotic invasive, and just so you know,
Oh,
it
that's
will
different.
totally destroy your plaster.
You didn't plant this, did you?
No.
No,
Okay.
I removed it, but it grew, it grows back.
Might have been better from my viewpoint if you had planted it, but
Oh.
it's not. All right, Mr. Green, go to 6B.
He removed some of the living matter on the right side, but still has some on the left side of the house, and I'm standing on,
What are we talking about? There's looking at the ivy.
yes, sir, where the blue arrow is at.
Okay. And go to 6-7A.
7A. We have more living matter, overgrown grass, and then we have deteriorating paint.
So basically, we're just talking about these plants growing up the
Yes,
side
sir.
of the house. Is that violation?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then you have the deteriorating paint with the big blue arrow on the back side of the house, on the left side of the rear house, under the window, and then on the other side.
So the only deteriorating paint is in 7B?
That's 7A and 7B.
Okay. So what specific remedy was the city looking for in terms of deteriorating paint on 7B?
Pressure wash and
Does it need to be pressure washed?
maybe a fresh coat of paint. We're gonna put a fresh
Okay.
coat of paint on it, yes.
Well, on this photo, you got the clapboard side of the house. It looks like it's a blue color. And then on the right side of that house, where the arrows point, you've got, which appears to be another material. I'm not sure which it is. Is that plywood or is that hardy board?
No, so I'm not pulling at that area. You fixed that. It's another, like when the hurricane came through, it pushed those plants back, and you can see more deteriorating paint at the bottom of the backside of the house under the rear window.
Well, what I guess I'm trying to figure out is that it's fairly uniform on the top. I see mildew kind of on the bottom right,
Yes, sir.
but I'm looking at some missing paint, like some white splotches. Is that what you're trying to solve?
Yes, sir. And then it's the right side of the house is darker than the left side of the rear of the house.
Is that a violation?
Deteriorating paint.
Well, that's not necessarily mean it's a violation. I mean, it's different color. It's a different, one's faded and one's not.
Okay.
I mean, just asking, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the city's definition of the violation here is. It's if it fades as opposed to being mildewed or missing colors or something of that nature.
Well, that's the lighter side of the house, and I'm gonna call it deteriorating.
And so when you look at this house, this is actually how it looks to you, darker on one side and lighter on the other.
Yes, sir. It's darker on the right side of the rear house, and even on the sides of the house where I took pictures for 6A and 6B, is darker than this section of the
Mr.
house.
Holston, what, did you paint this house?
No,
Did you have it painted?
it was like that.
All right. Do you see what he's talking about in terms of being two colors there?
I thought he was just talking about the white spots here and there and I
You
had
know,
color,
that was
but
my
it-
first
but one
impression.
side of the house is gonna fade more than the other because of the sun.
So is the city taking a position every time the sun fades a house, they're gonna have a violation of code?
Yes, sir. Gotta keep the property up.
I have no problem doing spots, but to paint the whole house because it's a little faded, one side. I mean, you know that, this.
What does the code actually say? I mean,
So,
mm,
section 30-169, building fronts and sides abutting streets or public areas. All deteriorated structural and decorative elements visible from a public right of way shall be repaired or replaced. Must be structurally sound. Rotten and weakened wood shall be removed and replaced. All exposed wood shall be stained or painted. Every part shall be clean of graffiti, litter, dirt, or other debris where surfaces were once painted or stained. Not more than 10% of the surface may be free of paint or stain.
And from what she's saying, what I'm reading, I mean, you can paint a house more than one color.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
I mean, is there some architectural standard we're not getting that it has to all be exactly, you can't have a faded side or it can't be two different colors of blue? You see where I'm coming from?
Yes,
I
sir,
just
I
want to see
understand.
where the owner needs some reasonable notice as to what a violation is on this kind of thing. All right. So that notwithstanding, the last photo shows some mildew that needs to be replaced, addressed on the house.
No, sir, I didn't. I didn't see it before I sent the, notice of hearing, all the 15-day compliance letter out.
So did someone actually complain about two colors on this house?
Yes, sir, it was a it was a, complaint case.
Oh,
Okay.
I can speculate who it was, but
Yeah.
I said,
All right. Mr. Huddleston, let you have your chance. Let me just go over the issue and focus the conversation if I can. 30-169 rotten and weakened wood deals with
what number?
basically, it looks like a couple pieces of wood in one of the windows on the house.
Yes.
Yeah, those. And
Yeah,
then,
well, that's part of a screen. That's part of a screen. Could I just take it out? It's really a screen nailed up on there is what it is.
yeah, and I think what that's about is mostly just, it needs to look like it's maintained.
So
We're
I just
looking
take that
at-
out, take the screen thing out?
I'm sorry?
That's part of a, I think it's part of a screen. Can I just take it
Yeah.
out?
Well, we're looking at number 5A. 5B,
Oh, that's the side of it.
whatever
yeah,
it
it is
is,
a-
whatever it is, it deteriorated.
It
looks
is,
like
it is a screen. The screen's all, I could just tear all the whole screen
Okay,
out.
well, I'll leave that up to you, is how you want to remedy it.
Yeah,
It needs to be removed.
yeah, I will
or
remove it.
replaced. Would that solve the problem from the
Yes, sir.
city's viewpoint?
Yes, sir.
So in terms of 5B, with reference to 30-169, this is with a window unit in the window. You say it's a part of the screen, okay? It needs to either be replaced or removed.
I'll remove it.
All right. And make sure, we'll talk about compliance in a minute. But on the previous one on 5A, it looks like the actual window itself has some rotten wood in it.
What's five? I'm showing the picture.
You got 5A?
Yes, we have.
Well, I don't have it in order. I was. Oh, I just replaced that.
Yeah.
I just replaced that and painted, and I just painted it before I came here.
Well, it's rotten. How are you gonna?
No, I just. You didn't see that today.
I'm sorry? 5B?
Yeah, because this one I just did. I fixed all that.
When did you think?
This right here, on the street
So it
side.
looks like he's already replaced it.
Yeah, I replaced
He's already
it,
replaced that
and today I painted it.
in your photograph that you took on 10/11.
Yeah, we still have
So he's
rotten-
already replaced that part.
We still have the rotten and weakened wood.
But now he was talking about inside of that, he says that's part of the screen. That doesn't hold the window in?
No, no, that's not part of the screen.
That,
That's
go
the
past
frame.
that. Go
Uh-uh.
back to
Oh,
5B now.
oh, wow. Show me the. Yeah, that's a screen. That's just a screen nailed on there.
All right, so if you take those two out, the window's not gonna fall out, right?
No.
Okay. Make sure you get with Mr. Green when you repair these, because that's rotten. And I don't see a screen on it.
That's because it's just all tore up.
What was the screen holder?
It's just all tore up. And it's
You understand my concern. I'm looking at this, it looks an awful lot like to me that those two pieces of wood on the
It's purely cosmetic. I'll
outside the
take it out.
window serve as the sash or guide for that window. And I don't see a screen on it.
But there is a screen. It's all
All right.
pulled up.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna find it's a violation because the wood's rotten, okay? But the question is gonna be, you know, how do you fix this? If you can fix it and take it off and
Take me 5
secure
minutes
the,
and
and
tear it
secure
off.
the window, because you don't want to create another violation by having an unsecured window.
No, somebody made a screen and just
Alright.
nailed it up there.
Anyway, I'll leave it up to you and Mr. Green to sort out whether there's compliance or not. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page of
It
what it's
takes
going to
5
take.
minutes to peel it off.
And make sure you let him know about that. All right. The broken windows need to be replaced. Is that an issue?
No, I do, but the kid, you got a kid, is a little off and he keeps knocking the windows out. Can I board him up?
That's, you know, is that going to be compliance as far as the city's concerned?
I placed those 3 and I came up there today and they were all pushed out again. And I put some,
Here's the thing about the broken windows deal. The broken window's gonna have two reasons why they're concerned in terms of city codes. Somebody had concerns about this, they wouldn't have written this code whenever they wrote it. One is unfettered access into the house that creates a danger to somebody. Somebody can climb into the house. Well, this is a second story window.
6 months.
The other one is appearance. If you got 6 pane window and 3 of the panes are gone, it creates an appearance issue that needs to be addressed. And that's something the code can address.
I do, but he keeps knocking them out.
To fix windows.
Huh?
How much of a problem is it to fix windows?
I did. I did
Okay,
fix
you-
them and he knocked them out and I did it again today and he'll probably knock them out again.
All right, so he's saying it's fixed.
He today.
I'm
So
sorry?
I will go by there today.
Okay, that's compliance. But right now, only evidence, fine. Go by there today and see if it's fixed or not. Because those are the only broken windows.
Yes, sir.
All right.
The one that's broken out, except the one that's got.
May I make a aesthetic suggestion here? Just so we can keep up with appearances. Please replace the glass windows, but on the interior, if you have an autistic child or whatever that's knocking the windows out, install a piece of plexiglass on the inside, so you still have transparency, so it looks like the windows are working, but you're not having that boarded up appearance.
Mhm.
That might resolve your unique situation. It's just a suggestion.
I just put the plexiglass, I gotta put glass in there too. Okay.
They're trying to help you out here,
Mhm.
believe it or not.
Yeah, well then, okay, I will, but if he breaks, he's gonna brand a break and I want the victim.
Now, the trash and debris on the porch,
I told him to clean up the place. They got like 3 kids.
who's him?
The renters. on
Well, I
top.
know that, but you're the owner.
I know, I told him to clean up and he cleaned it up, but then you go back the next day and it's all messed up.
Well,
I'm gonna have to victim or something.
I appreciate what you're telling me, but the owner's the one responsible. Okay, so you need to find a way to keep that addressed. And I'm not saying it won't come back. But what you need to be able to do at a minimum is to get it cleaned up, make sure the city finds it's in compliance.
Mhm.
Because you do not want to be out of compliance come, it looks like they're giving you a long time to bring this into compliance.
No, so since the paint, the deteriorating paint won't be a part of the violations, it'll be,
Well, you've given him until February 12th is
no,
what
sir.
you're,
Since-
well, that's what it says here.
When you find the, deteriorating paint as a violation,
I'm sorry.
are you gonna find the deteriorating paint as a violation?
I'm not very happy with that one right now, except in terms of the white splotches and getting the mildew off of it.
Okay, so if you don't find the deteriorating paint,
Well, I'm gonna find a violation, it's just not repainting the whole building.
okay, so yes, it'll be 120 days.
Yeah. It's very generous, by the way.
Mhm.
It could be 30.
I get on it today.
Oh, okay. Now you've got this living matter on the building. You didn't plant this. It looks like it's a volunteer. It appears to be an invasive species. I mean, I don't think it's kudzu, but who knows? I'm not a botanist in that
Neither, I
regard,
don't
but
know.
I'm not sure it's necessarily something you want taking over your house. So that's the only issue with that.
Yes.
All right, those would basically kill them and get them off the house. All right. So basically, anything else you'd like to add to any of that?
So the 3 windows will put glass in and like she said, put some plexiglass or something over it. Cause he's definitely gonna knock them out.
That's fine with them, it's fine with me.
He's definitely gonna knock them out.
I just, all I want, here's my deal. I find there's a violation and I want to make sure that the respondent knows what the remedy
Mhm.
is. Okay? If everybody clear and everybody on the same page. I'm gonna find a violation with the rotten wood that's left, and that's the 2 pieces on each side of the air conditioner on that one window elevation. What you say can just be taken off without violating the structure of the window, and whatever. But if you can do that, that's fine with me. If it's fine with the city, and that's a remedy for them, you just have to let them know what it is. As to the trash and debris, you need to get that off the porch and let the city know that it's off the porch. May create another violation down the road sometime if it comes back. But you need to have a talk with your renter,
And then
with regards
kids,
to-
toys all over the place.
you know.
It's terrible.
Again, it's not the renter who's responsible under this process, it's the property owner. The broken windows, you have it, everybody's in agreement on solution on broken windows.
Yes, sir.
Right, covering, needs to cover that opening.
Yes, sir.
And it needs to be something that is aesthetically consistent, if you will, so that it doesn't just look like it's boarded up. Then trash and debris, broken windows, the overgrown grass, the rotten and weakened wood, the four things. All right? Anybody in disagreement? All right.
Fine.
So this is the first hearing. So there's no money gonna start racking up today. The city's recommended a very long time for compliance. I'm gonna find a violation regarding section 30-169 due to rotten and weakened wood, specifically the two pieces of wood that are located on the east side of the air conditioner. There was something else, I thought.
Paint materials.
Hang on.
I need to mow the grass.
No, that was another. No, yes, it is. In photo 2A, it looks like there are two slats of wood, look like 1 inch slats of wood that somehow need to be repaired or
Yes, sir.
replaced. So there are two issues with the broken windows and deteriorating wood. The overgrown grass is the weeds growing up the side of the house need to be removed. The broken windows we've addressed. Trash and debris, just remove the items on the porch that do not include the chairs and the grill and the kids' bike. Right? Everybody in agreement?
Yes, sir.
All right. The city has requested, and I'll allow until February 12th, 2025, I presume,
Yes.
instead of 24, to bring this in compliance. If there's not compliance on February 13th, $25 a day fine per violation will start.
Well, everything we do, almost everything we've done today.
All right, well, here's what you need to do. You and Mr. Green need to make sure you know how to contact each other. And as soon as you bring these property into compliance, you need to get him on the phone, get him over there
Mhm.
and determine that there's compliance. If there's compliance, this case ends.
Okay.
There might be another case down the road,
Mhm.
but this case ends. You need to pressure wash, with the term the inconsistent paint, you need to pressure wash the mildew. And I'm gonna find that the inconsistency is the white spots on the building. You need to bring those into a color consistent with the rest of the house. Good luck with that. But it's not
Well, I
gonna
did some
match us.
paint. It's a little,
Well, I
it's
understand
different
what
color.
you're
but-
saying, but then you run into a violation that you've got inconsistent paint scheme in the house. If you got different colors, that different shades of the same color on that side of the building, okay? It's gotta match.
Okay, that's
All
like,
right.
talk about that, okay.
Now, you might be
Oh.
better off painting it.
Or get one of those paint strips and have them try to match it.
All right, any questions? All right, thank you very much for coming today.
Right.
Sir, very quickly, your address with the property
Thank
appraiser
you.
is incorrect. It's Lake Como, and I believe you mentioned you're from Haynes.
Well, it is, I live right on the border, so it's confusing. It is actually Lake Como, yes.
Okay, well, if there's an incorrect address with the property appraiser, we don't have the proper mechanism to reach you by mail. So
I'll give you the right address.
just take it up with them. The property appraiser is over there on Fourth and Oak.
You tell him the new address, the right address?
He can't change that for you. You would have to tell the
Mm-hmm.
property appraiser your new address.
Is that the same address the tax collector has?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I had the right address and then I had the post office box, what do you call it, the rent thing you rent?
Well, the post
Now-
office box is fine, but apparently that didn't work.
And I just went back to the house one.
But you didn't get the notice. All we're saying is that the official address for this property owner, you, at this property, is the PO box. That
Okay.
didn't work.
All right, I didn't know that.
If that's not the correct address, they'd like to get the correct address so they can be able to contact you. By the way, your tax bill is gonna come to whatever
Right.
address the tax collector has. What you're telling me, they have the wrong address. You might want to talk with them.
Well,
That's
I got it
all.
last year, but maybe this year, maybe not.
Just letting you know.
telling you. And for what it's worth to in the Florida law, even if you don't get the tax bill, you're under law,
Still.
know you need to pay the taxes, so.
Well, you know, the tax,
Okay.
tax year.
And, you know, I have a self-interest, taxes pay me sort of, so that's there, but that's not why I'm telling you this.
I
You
wanna
really
pay your
ought to get the
salary.
tax bill. All right. All right, thank you for coming today.
All right, I'll get on it immediately since I can.
All
get it
right,
done.
you know how to get in touch with Mr. Green, and Mr. Green
Yes.
got to get in touch with him. You got like phone numbers you can change.
You know my number? And an email number, because sometimes I don't hear stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna take a brief recess at 3:00. Whose case is next? This David?
This second.
How come Miss Lowe doesn't have but like one?
Yes, sir.
We're back on the record at 3:03. Final case today is case number 2022-39. The property located at 1905 Ocean Street, Palatka. Owners of record are Paul, it should be the heirs of Paul, is it Anna Doris?
Paul Anna Doris.
Or Doris Paul Anna?
Yes, sir. That's how the property appraiser has it.
All right, care of Tangi L. Paul, whom I believe is an heir, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is a case of second hearing, looking for the imposition of a lien, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Green, the property is located 1905 Ocean. The original violation was a roofing disrepair in violation of 30-32A10, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell me about due process, what's your efforts to try to contact them?
I sent a notice of hearing for the second lien, for a lien, for the second hearing to 108 Diamond Road, and nothing came back. She had a roofing permit back in 2020, 21, and she didn't do anything with it. And now we're back here for the second hearing, and I said the hearing for this, the second hearing, that's in the 10/2/2024, and nothing came back.
All right, so the official address on the property appraisers and tax collectors rolls is in care of Tangi Levon Paul, 108 Squire Road, Columbia, South Carolina, 29223, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you do have in the record
Yes, sir.
the certified mail envelope
Yes, sir.
addressed to that. Did that come back to you?
No, sir.
How do you have, oh, this is what you sent,
Yes, sir.
and the green card never came
Yes, sir.
back. Was this the green card you sent?
No, that's a picture of the back of the front of the envelope and the front
Okay.
of the envelope that I
So the
sent.
envelope came back with that on it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've posted the property
Yes, sir.
and you have your notice of posting
Yes, sir.
in the record?
Yes, sir.
Okay, have any contact with Tangi, Levon, Paul, or anyone representing her or any of the other heirs?
No, sir.
All right, and what's the history of this case? Time-wise?
The first hearing was held 9/22/22. The fines began on 11/21/22, and the fines of the date is $17,350 at a $25 daily fine.
Okay. Okay, and the original violation dealt with 30-32A10, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you show me, show me some evidence concerning the continued nature of the violation?
Yes, sir. This is picture one. This is
Okay,
picture
did you take the photographs you're about to show us?
Yes, sir.
And did the photographs accurately represent the condition of the property and date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed.
This is picture one. This picture was taken 8/22/22. They're dealing with 30-32A10, the roofing in disrepair. The broken ones was repaired, and you see that in picture 1B, 1C rather.
Okay.
And this picture was taken 10/11/2024, dealing with 30-32A10, roofing disrepair. The roofing is still in disrepair.
Okay, so it went from 1 to 1C, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in 1, this was an 8/22/22 with the original violation, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so the roof is in disrepair and that is basically gone.
Yes.
And then the right side window upper pane, looks like the entire window is broken, is that
No, so
correct?
they, if you look at picture 1C, they repaired all that. They boarded it up.
I'm just looking at number 1.
Okay.
The broken window was the right side window,
Yes,
top
sir.
and bottom, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then number 1C, the roof is still in disrepair?
Yes, sir.
Was there any evidence of any work being done?
No, sir.
Has it any application for a permit for any of the
No,
work
sir.
being done?
No, sir.
And a permit would be required to replace, repair this roof, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what about the window?
The window was boarded up.
Boarded up?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And that's behind the label 1C?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when was the window boarded up? When did that happen? When did the window?
The window was boarded before the violation time, well, when the time was up, before the
Right.
time was up.
So
No fines ran on the windows.
in 26 months, this fine is 2 years, this fine's gone to 17,000 at $25 a day?
Yes, sir.
Wow. All right. You sent the notice of the violation, the order finding violation. Did that come back to you also?
No, sir.
Okay, did you send it certified mail?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right, based on the evidence and testimony presented, we're going to find that the violation of section 30-32A10 of the city code regarding roofing and disrepair continues unabated since the order finding a violation entered on September 22nd, 2022. Since that time, fines have accrued at $25 per day for the unaddressed violation, totaling to, as of today's date, $17,350. Based on the evidence and testimony, we find it appropriate to enter an order allowing the city commission and city attorney to create and file a lien, if you want to file the lien,
Yes, sir.
right, on the property in the amount of the fine. Fines will continue, however, to accrue at the rate of $25 per day until satisfaction of compliance.
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything else?
No, sir.
We are going to adjourn today's proceedings at 3:10.
Yes, it is.